is Ms. Hadley's Peer Statistics class. Our data study was based off the impact of modern technology and environmental factors of student academics.
Good afternoon, my name is Jamie Jimenez from the presentation team, and our mission through this study was to find out the effects modern technology has on the student academic performance.
Hi, my name is Alyssa Alvarenga. I am part of the presentation team. For this investigation, our statistics class was divided into 4 different categorical groups, one of which was our managers, which managed all the groups and ensured everybody was on track. Then we had our presentation team, which essentially created the layout and the format of this presentation. And then we had our data acquisition, which gathered all our research and summarized it so that way our data analysis team would be able to get that information and break it down into mathematical steps to help us decipher what these results tell us.
Creating the survey, we created a team to brainstorm topics about what were the most important issues. We created the survey and promoted it by asking MHS students to fill out the survey. The data analysis team documented those responses, and then lastly, we organized that data.
Hi, my name is Alyssa Machado. I'm on the data analysis team, and my question is, what is your current GPA? The average GPA of MHS students is 2.95, which is slightly below the average GPA in the US. The standard deviation is 0.83 units, which is how far away the data points are from the mean. Based on location, there are 5 outliers, which shows that there are a little amount of students with a GPA way lower than the average. Based on value, there are 109 outliers, which means that there are many students with a GPA below the average, and the data is not normally distributed.
Good afternoon, my name is Jeffrey-Nella, and I am from the data acquisition team. The female average GPA is 3.1, and the male average GPA is 2.9. More affluent schools tend to have a higher GPA of 3.0, and less affluent schools have a GPA of 2.59. Reason being is because less affluent schools have less resources and less support from outside. The average high school GPA in the United States is around 3.0, which means that Montebello High School is below average.
Hello, my name is Emily, and I was in the data analysis team. My problem that I'm presenting is how many hours do you spend on schoolwork. On a weekly basis, Montebello High School students tend to spend around 4 hours weekly, and our standard deviation shows that the data points are 2.91 units away from our average. Our box plot analysis showed us that we have 57 outliers, which are on the higher end, and our empirical rule analysis shows us that we have 36 outliers based on value, and our data is not normally distributed.
Hi, my name is Amy. I'm on the data acquisition team, and my question is, how many hours do you spend doing homework? First, we found that students try to focus on achieving their final exam score, and later in the semester we'll try to make up the grade by completing missing homework assignments. Next, we found that on average students spend about 2.7 hours on homework per weeknight. And next, we found that a survey of 200 Bel Air high school students found that the students spend over 3 times that amount. But when students were asked how many hours they spent on homework, their answers range from 0 to 9 hours, with an average of 4 hours.
Abigail. I'm part of the data analysis team, and the question I got is, what method do you prefer when studying? Based on the histogram and frequency table, we can see that 47% of most students prefer to work alone, while 2% of the few students prefer studying while using online tutorials. And overall, the top preferences of studying are alone, partner, and group study.
I'm Naomi Aguirre. I'm part of the data acquisition team, and our question is, what method do you prefer when studying? We found that MHS students prefer to work alone rather than in groups, so the best study methods are having a good study space that are able to be productive in while under pressure, listening to calm music like classical or lo-fi beats, eliminating distractions like silencing your phone and making a pact to avoid social media, and finally snacking on smart foods to enhance productivity.
Hi, my name is Peter Ambrosio. The slide will be how do kids learn best. Kids learn best through explanations, as seen right here. This one learns through explanations. Second one is isolation. A lot of kids like to learn by themselves for practice. Third one is studying with their friends, other people. And at the last is hands-on. Not a lot of students like to practice by themselves or just straight up practicing.
Hi, my name is Kylie. The question is, how do you learn the best? Students have many learning styles. This means that they can choose what works best for them. Many people are visual or auditory learners. Some of these learning styles can be very creative, like auditory learners can make sounds to memorize the subject. Visual can create presentation to see the information more clearly.
Hi, my name is Luis Pacheco, and I was part of the manager team. And for this question here, describe the classroom you learned best in. In our frequency table, it showed out of the 5 categories that subject had the majority with 254 responses from students, and it had a total of 41.85%. This then showed in our histogram that we had a normally distributed histogram with no outliers. And then some student responses that complemented our work was that some people learned better in subjects like physics, forensics, and English, either because the class was interactive and the teacher did well, or because it helped them with their grammar.
Hi, my name is Dr. Mayorga. I'm from the data acquisition team, and my question was describe what classroom you learned the best in. And from this article, we learned that emotional engagement is a huge part because it helps build that student-teacher bond, and it helps them encourage them and motivates them. A strong sense of community is also a good thing because they feel both supported at school and at home.
Hello, my name is Joseph Surda, and I am a part of the data analysis team. And here the question asks, do you prefer to use digital or physical textbooks? The most chosen answer was physical textbooks with 52%, and the least option was 48% with digital textbooks. This shows that students would rather have physical textbooks than use the digital textbooks that are on their Chromebooks.
Our research team, we got that people comprehend print reading better than on-screen reading. This is because our brain creates 2 different connections from our cells that from the ones that we use from print reading. The difference from print is that we skim through technology, so we associate reading on screen with social media and texting. This goes that Juan Montebello prefers physical textbooks better than digital textbooks.
Hi, I'm Oscar Menes. I'm one of the head managers of the group, and I helped out with the data analysis team. This particular question of how often do you use online tutorials? Here we have used the histogram and then the graph that we used. A major of 194 of the frequency of students within the 607 of survey students that they responded, put sometimes as the most. As 32% of most students sometimes use online tutorials. 3% of few students always use online tutorials, and then out of the 607 students surveyed, you never use online tutorials.
Hello, my name is Alisa. I'm from data acquisition. My question is, how often do you use online tutorials? So we know that students at MHS said that they sometimes use online tutorials, but based on our research, we know that some students prefer studying online and it's more beneficial to them. And we know that most of the knowledge and information we know today is coming from online. For example, we use articles online and online books, and some could be educational podcasts, videos, and images. And we have easy access to the internet. And for example, throughout this project, we use online-based tools, for example, Google Docs and Slides, and we were able to collaborate and all work from home.
Hi, my name is Machuca. I'm part of the team manager. I'm one of the team managers and part of data analysis. I'm here to talk about this one. So, do you feel that technology is giving you the extra help that you need? From this one, we have here technology. Technology does actually give people or students the help that they need right here. So, you know, as seen at this quote right here, technology does sometimes give me a little extra time by letting find simpler version of things and images that help me understand. So basically, it's telling us that it gives them a lot of access to the internet, which basically has a lot of stuff to help them understand. And right here it says, yes, because I can look online and how to figure out and solve a question or to show me in the correct path solving. So basically, technology can be used for good and help expand their minds and help them learn.
Our question is, do you feel like technology is giving you the extra help that you need? And we found that pairing technology with classrooms provides students with real-time support as well as enhances their achievement. We also found that the best method when it comes to learning comes down to the right blend of teachers and technology. And we found that 3% of teachers in high-poverty schools and 52% of teachers in wealthy schools report that their students often have to turn towards the internet for digital tools on their homework. And lastly, low-income schools often have classrooms where technology overtakes the teachers.
Here the question asks, how do you feel your dependence on electronics? The most popular response was neutral, with 42% of our students choosing that one, while the least was not dependent on electronics, with around 3% of students picking it. While on the other side, people who are highly dependent on electronics, around 11% of our school chose that option.
My side is, how do you view dependence on technology? First, we found that students are not developing thinking skills because technology is pumping them information. Next, we found that students' reliance on technology makes them more likely to plagiarize off the internet. Next, we found that technology limits socialization opportunities for children. And lastly, we found that technology can cause a huge distraction for children because of its accessibility to games and other online content. And it's important. These are serious issues because about 11% of our school is heavily dependent on electronics.
In this next particular question, it says, how often do you use your phone in class? So mainly the most chosen option that we have in our histogram, in our database, was mainly sometimes, with a 47% of students are subjects on their phone in class. The least chosen option was always, with 4% of students are always on their phones. And with 6% of students chose never, out of the 607 survey students, only a small amount of them never got to use their phone, which means that most students in the campus use their phones besides the 6%.
How often are you on your phone in class? It is reported that teenagers use their phone and get notifications about 273 times during the school day, and 25% of those come in during school. Notifications at school, 1 in 5 students use their phone at school, and it is reported that they often have lower grades. And it is shown that 97% use their phone about most of the time at school. And notifications come in and they check them about 13 times to either check the time, and 200 notifications come in, and it's for social media use.
So basically, we asked students about their average screen time. And their average screen time from all of them is around 5.91 hours a day. Basically, around 6 hours per se. And then basically, based on this box plot right here, based on location, there are 29 outliers, and based on value this one from our empirical rule right here, there's 11 outliers based on value right here, which gives a grand total of 40. But out of those 40, those are the ones that are like high, like 24 hours max a day. And basically, from right here as well, our standard deviation is 3.37, being that many years away from the mean. And then based on this right here, is not normally distributed. Now this is not really a good thing because out of a day, their students have 8 hours of school and 8 hours of sleep, giving them 8 hours of free time, and they're spending 75% of their free time on their phones, which could be alarming since that could cause isolation, antisocialism, and could cause them to be off task.
From our research, we found out that the average screen time of students is 7 hours and 22 minutes, which equals to 43% of their waking hours. And from our survey, we learned that our average screen time is lower. Usually 85% of parents allow their students or their kids to have at least an hour of screen time, and sometimes 43% of parents let more than 3 hours of screen time.
My name is Angel Barragan, and I'm part of the data analysis team, and here are the responses for students' opinions on phone restrictions. And our frequency table shows us that 209 students, or 34%, agree with the phone restrictions, while 193, or 31%, do not. And I think that this response right here sums up why it was so close between agreeable and disagreeable, because many students believe that there are positives and negatives to the phone restrictions, because they use them for things like listening to music or viewing videos, but they could also be a major distraction.
What are your thoughts on phone restriction in the classroom? A new phone policy in LAUSD will start next semester in 2024 to 2025 school year. Students, this is happening because of a meeting they bought about the ban of phone and social media use in the school campus. Students will not be able to use any smart device, including phones, earbuds, or a smartwatch. Through this ban, students will be able to access their phone in emergency case.
Some challenges we encounter during the data collection process is avoidance to not take the survey, dishonesty, and not enough participants.
Basically, what we got from all our data, this tells us that students are more focused on technology because they're spending like 6 hours of the 8 hours of their free time on their phones. But, however, they like to be taught like with the teacher and stuff, as seen earlier, because they like when they explain it to them. Technology does offer help, so that means they could use it, but in a good way, because that 6 hours could be either for on their phones right there, or it could be for researching. And students prefer to work alone. Either that could be isolation, or they like to work on their own so they can focus, which could be a positive.
After conducting the study, our class has concluded that the next steps we can take are to monitor distractions, apply phone restrictions, and communicate with peers. Some things that we can do to limit phone usage is we can establish study spaces that are designed specifically for homework and like studying. We can also enforce more strict class policies, and along with that, parents can set certain screen times for their children.
When reflecting on our work, we decided that something that worked was providing incentives to our students to make them more motivated to take our survey. Something that didn't work was brainstorming separately in different groups instead of all together. And what we could improve on was our time management.
We appreciate your time. Our class hopes that this could help improve, provide more insight and on the impact of modern technology on student academic performance. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.